Hello, everybody. Today we're going to get started with the questions concerning punctuations, confusable words, and spellings. So, in punctuations, we know we've learned two things, which is the comma and the semicolon. Let's talk about the usage of the comma and the semicolon now. So, when we use the comma, we've seen 5 cases and we've seen 3 cases for the usage of semicolon. Now, if we look at questions 1 to 20, we need to choose the sentence with the correct punctuation. So, the answer for the first one is option number 2. You asked for forgiveness, he granted it to you. The reason we've used a semicolon in between these two sentences is to narrow the time gap. Obviously, the time gap would not get narrowed physically, but to narrow the time gap between two closely linked sentences, we use a semicolon. We ask therefore that you keep this matter confidential. Therefore is breaking the sentence flow, and hence my answer is option number 3. We ask, therefore, that you keep this matter confidential. We've taken comma because we ask is related to that you keep this matter confidential and it is not an independent clause. And hence my answer is option number 3. When we talk about the third one, the order was requested 6 weeks ago, therefore I expect the shipment to arrive by now. Again, here I have two independent sentences. Therefore is breaking the sentence flow. I will use a semicolon followed by a comma. My answer will be option number 1. In the fourth one, the Indian flag has 3 colors, namely saffron, white, green. Since you have used namely here, I will take my answer as option number 4. It could also be correct if I would have taken a semicolon first and then a comma. So semicolon, namely, comma, saffron, white and green. Clothes are often made of synthetic material, for instance, rayon. Now I've identified the synthetic material saying rayon, and for instance is breaking the sentence flow. Rayon is connected to the synthetic material, so I take my answer as option number 2. If you believe in magic, magical things will happen. But if you do not believe in magic, you will discover nothing to be magical. Here there are two sets. The first set will be separated by a comma, and the major sentence, the contrast, will be shown by a semicolon. Thus, my answer is option number 3. The orchestra, excluding the violin section, was not up to par. Now, excluding the violin section is breaking the sentence flow, and the orchestra was not up to par is the same sentence which has been broken through. So, my answer is option number 1. I have been to San Francisco, California, Reno, Nevada, and Seattle, Washington. We know San Francisco is a part of California, Reno is a part of Nevada, and Seattle is a part of Washington. So we bifurcate or we separate the major cities with respect to semicolon, and San Francisco and California we separate by a comma. My answer is the fourth one. I need a few items at the store. Now here you haven't mentioned namely. Since you haven't mentioned namely and you directly mentioned a list of items, we take our answer to be option number 3. We need a colon here. I answered the phone but no one seemed to be on the other line. Here both the sentences are connected and there is but which is breaking the sentence flow. My answer is option number 3. I wanted a cup of coffee, not a glass of milk. To show contrast, we always use a comma. So my answer is option number 2. You have won the following prizes. Now here we have used namely. So we will use a semicolon followed by a comma, a car and a trip to Hawaii and a bathrobe. Option number 4. If you can possibly arrange it, please visit us, but if you cannot, let us know. To convey contrast in between two main clauses, we use a semicolon, and in between the clause, we use a comma. Answer is option 2. I gave her a lot of money while we were married, hence I do not wish to pay her a dime in alimony. There are two sentences and hence is interrupting the sentence flow. Both are independent sentences, hence my answer is option number 2. We have a variety of desserts, for instance, apple pie. For instance, is breaking the sentence flow. Apple pie is connected to the variety of desserts, hence answer is 1. I needed only 3 cards to win, namely a 10 of hearts, jack of diamonds, and the king of hearts. Now here we are using namely, and since we have used namely, we will use a semicolon followed by a comma. Option is 3. And this I haven't used namely and I have directly listed the cards, so I will use a colon followed by comma. Option is option number 2. The 18th one, my answer is the 4th one. I would therefore like to have an explanation of the missing cast. Therefore is disrupting the sentence flow, and the sentence is a connected sentence. It is not an independent sentence, and hence we use commas. Nature lovers will appreciate seeing whales, sea lions, and pelicans. This is a question of Oxford comma. We have listed a list of items. We need a comma before and after sea lions. Hence, my answer is option number 1. This is also a question of Oxford comma. To separate and say that his friends are from Bangalore and Chennai, and Delhi is separately his home state, my answer becomes option 2. I hope we are clear with comma and semicolon, that is punctuation. Let's move on to spellings. You need to pick the correct spelling. Anoint means to rub or smear with oil. The answer is the second one. Coolly means moderately cool. The answer is the first one. Supersede means go beyond a particular point. The answer is the first one. Irresistible, the answer is the first one again. All right, the first one is a slang. The correct word is all right, hence it's the second one. Separate, we always get confused with the first spelling, but the correct spelling is the second spelling. Harris, here my answer is the second one. Desiccate is to remove moisture, so my answer is the first one. Deceive, my answer is the second one. Pursue, to pursue means to go behind something, my answer is the first one. Recommend is to suggest, my answer is second one. Desperate is unlike separate, my answer is the first one. Liquefy is to make to the liquid state and liquid form, my answer is the second one. Subpoena is a written agreement of a court, so my answer here is first one. Definitely, surely, my answer is the second one. Occasion, my answer is the second one. Consensus is a formal agreement, my answer here is the first one. Inadvertent is to not achieve through planning, to not do something without planning. So answer is first. Judgment is a decision which is passed by the court. Answer is the first one. Drunkenness, the answer is the second one. Occurrence is the state of something happening. The answer is the second one. Allot, there is another allot which is A-double-L-O-T. First one is a slang and incorrect spelling. It's the second one. Accommodate, my answer is the second one. Embarrassment, my answer is the first one. Ecstasy is extreme happiness, my answer here is the second one. Despair is to feel let down, my answer is the second one. Exceed is to go beyond something, my answer here is the first one. Liaison is a formal agreement, the answer is first one. Millennium is a period of 100 years, my answer is the first one. And last is independent. Independent, my answer is option number 2. If you see both the spellings are similar, so you can mark any one. Going to confusable words. The jeweler appraised or apprised the customer about the value of the ornaments. He would not appraise the customers, he would apprise, which is tell the customers about the value. We were all ready. When I say all ready, I said the first one is a slang, so it's the second one. So we have B as of now. The principal gave his assent or accent to the students. Accent is the way you speak. Assent is permission. So the principal gave the assent, which is permission. So A, she felt bad about her dog's death or after her dog's death. So B, and the policies of the government were criticized for being backward, which means they were not as advanced. So my answer here is B B A B A. B B A B A is option number 2. It would be interesting to compare IIM Ahmedabad with IIM Bangalore. We use with to compare two similar things. We use to compare two dissimilar things. IIMs are two similar things, so with. So we begin with B. I don't know whether I will get into an IIM this year. It's a condition. So you will use whether and not if. So double B. If I have double B, my answer could be 3 or 4. I was surprised at her appearance. It was very different from what I had expected. You had expected something and it was very different from your expectation. So we have triple B, and if you have triple B, my answer is option number 3, triple B double A. The instructions stipulated that essays we write should be 500 words or less. And I loathe, which means I hate to visit him. He's so rude. The students appeared completely uninterested or disinterested in the course. When I say uninterested means not interested and disinterested means not to be biased. So here obviously they were uninterested, which is not interested. I found the gathering at his birthday party quite amicable. Amicable is friendly. Amiable be used for a person, amicable be used for situations. So B. So A, B as of now. The student found her friend's comments insipid or insipid and ignored them. It is insipid, which means lacking taste, without any taste, and hence B. So A double B. Next, the invalid had a vehicle specially made for him. So specially and especially do not have any difference. But here in the context, if I look at A double B, my answer is A double B A B, option number 3. And hence in the fifth one, the speaker appeared well prepared for his impromptu speech. He waited further or farther down the road to avoid suspicion of others. Definitely here it is farther because we are talking about distance. The manager found it expedient or expeditious to blame the market for his failure. The answer here is expedient, which is convenient. The bridge that connects Bandra and Worli is almost complete. It's a particular bridge and we use that to express particular conditions. So A. The students were happy with the professor's explanation of string theory was simple. Not simplistic but simple. And thanks to the high inflation, the economy seems to be sliding backwards, which means in the backward direction. So my answer is B triple A B, option number 3. The last one now, drought has destroyed nearly 80% of the cattle. We could also take decimate here, both are okay. But when I go to the second one, he is bound by the terms of the contract and not bond. Our doctor's avocation is painting. Avocation means hobby. We are anxious or eager to see the new show. You are not anxious, which means scared, but eager. And a possible connotation of home is place of warmth and comfort. Denotation means a sign of something. Connotation means implication of the meaning. So my answer here is A, B, B, B. Double A, triple B, option 3. Thank you so much, guys.